let's see the next way of identification. So this time I'll make things difficult for you. So now here in this screen, let's say I want to scan add to cart buttons. Okay, let's see how you are going to do it. Shift right click, scan HTML. This is common. Select your web page. Okay, and now let's say I want to, as part of my test case, let's say I want to click on the second add to cart button. Okay, or first add to cart button. So how do I identify it? Let me scan add to cart. Let me scan this add to cart also. Let me scan this add to cart also. Now tell me, how can I make them unique? For our convenience, let's also rename them. Let's say highlight. So this is the first one. So I will name it as -1. Okay, let's highlight this one. This is the second one. So -2, and this one is the third one. So -3. Okay, I just deselected. Yeah. Now tell me which properties you are going to select here.
Ramya, the best way needed to take for anchor to select for appearance and shoes.
Mm, what if I want to click on second add to cart, or what if I want to click on some eighth add to cart?
That location, if we get to know, so if we see,
Because it is coming under appearance shoes.
Okay, for the first one it is coming under apparel and shoes, but what if about this fourth one?
Then we can go with the first add to cart or next to next. We go for the casual golf bet. We can choose this for the blue jean is whatever the parent or some close to near to that one.
Okay. Okay, so now that you know identify by anchor, you are saying I will take my nearby control as an anchor tag. But there is another important way of identification in Tosca. Okay, let me tell you that. So that is called as identification by index. This is a very, very important thing. If you understand this concept, only then you will be able to excel the generic controls concept. So please listen carefully, and if you have questions, stop me. Okay, so what is this identification by index does is, there is, okay, so now if you look at this add to cart button here, it has some properties. What are those properties? It has a value of add to cart and it has a tag property of input. These are the properties I have selected. Okay, now if I click identify by index here, see what it says. It says 1 of 5. Okay, what this representation means is there are 5 controls which are having tag property as input and value as artifact. Among those 5 controls, this is the first one. Okay, now if I click on add to cart 3, what will happen? See, same properties, tag input, value add to cart, and it says there are 5 controls, but this is the third one out of the fifth control. So this one will tell me how many controls are there and what is the index position. For example, if I am taking only tag property, I am not taking value also. I just took tag as input. Then how many controls can be there? See, there are 7 controls which are having tag property as input. And this is the fifth control among them. I don't know what are the other 4 or what are the remaining 2. Okay. All I know is we have 7 controls and this is the fifth control. Okay. And similarly, let's say Let's take some easy one. I'll just say condensed. I'll just say yes something. Okay, this link, and in this link I just took only tag A. So how many controls can have tag A? Usually in a web page you will have lots of controls with tag A. See, there are 80 controls with the tag A, and this is the 41st control with this particular property. Now if I select the inner text for this control, that is free 50s rockabilly polka dot top, what happened? This control became unique. Whenever there is a unique control, that what does that mean? There is one and only control. It doesn't have any duplicates. So what will happen with identify by index when you have a unique control means there will not be any index position, because this is only one control. That's why there won't be any index position. Still, if I select this checkbox, it will just give it as 1, nothing else. Okay, but for this, if I go, see, it has 1 out of 5. So if I select it, I'll get a new icon here. See, a hash icon, and this represents the identification by index. This represents the properties, this represents the index. So what I am saying, look for a control which is having properties as tag as input and value as add to cart, but among those controls, go for the first one or go for the second one. That is what I am saying. Okay, any questions here?
Yeah, Ramya, index 2 of 5 it is showing, right? Like,
Yes.
uh, is it default like 5 or else
No,
how
it's
the
5.
value we are getting?
How we are getting means, see how many add to carts we have on the screen?
Okay, only 5, okay.
5, right? We don't have any other add to carts. See.
Yes, yes.
So
Okay,
that's why it is saying you there are 5 controls and this is the second one. So if I scan this one, what should be my index value?
5.
5 out of 5, right?
Yeah.
Let's check that. Let's say condensed. Let's go ahead, scan this, say review items, the last one. And if you want, we can highlight and see, yeah, this is the one. And now let's go identify by index. See, 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
And if I select it, my index value is 5. Yeah.
Okay, Ramya.
Any other questions?
So, Ramya, there is no value as 0 in index. So it is
No,
always, it starts with
it
1.
starts with 1.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So,
now,
Ramya, in this cases, we'll use only index, right? And anchor is not possible.
in this case, actually, index is the best bet. So you have to think. Okay. So if I want to make, like, I know that I can make this element unique. Like, I don't want it as a generic one. So then I will make it as a unique control. For example, let's say I want to make this by using anchor tag. What is this section? This is my products page, correct? What
Yes.
if my products go out of stock and I get a new stock? These products names and all these will change, correct? So if I am choosing any of these as my anchor tag, what will happen? My test case will fail for sure.
Okay.
So you have to think, okay, I have these many links here. Instead of scanning these many links, let me scan only one control and play with it. That is how we come up with the generic controls. Whenever you have multiple controls, instead of scanning these many controls and keeping them in the module, we will go ahead and create only one set. And now you saw the index position, right? By playing with this index position, I will be able to create a generic control, which we will discuss again in the later classes much detail, and we will see them practically. Okay. For
Yeah,
now,
okay.
this is the this is what we meant by identification by index. So now for the third one, let's select value. Let's select index. Or else for the third one, let's deselect the value. Let's go to index and let's select this. First one, the index is 1. Second one, index is 2. Third one, the index is 5 out of 7. 5, okay. And for the last one also, this is 5. Okay. Now, let us say finish screen, close. For anchor, you saw there is a property called as relative ID, right? For index, you will have a property that is called as constraint index. Okay, constraint index. So if you see for the first one, it is 1, second one is 2, third one it is 5, so last one it is 5 again. And the remaining part number you are seeing, right? 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5, that out of number is there, right? That number will not be present in any of the properties. Sorry. So what that says means, for example, in this web application, if I am having eight add to cart buttons also, when I take the first one, it always says go to the first one. Whatever the remaining at the other number be, but still my control works. Only thing it will see is, okay, among these many controls, I have to go to the first one, or among these many controls, I have to go to the fifth one. That's all. It will not bother whether this page is having 8 add to cards or 10 add to cards or 20 add to cards. It doesn't mind that. The next number is not counted. Only the first number has the importance. Okay. Any questions?
So when you're doing that for add to cart 3, we got 5, and the next to that also we got
Yeah.
5. No,
The
I mean,
reason
why
is, for the third one, which properties did we select? We selected only tag as
input?
input. Whereas for the remaining, which properties did we select? We selected tag as well as value also.
Okay.
Based on the properties you select, the number of controls will change in the web application. There might be 80 controls which are having tag property as A, but there is only one control which is having tag property as A and inner property as 50s rockabilly polka dot top. In the same way, for
Can you show
these
us one
two,
more time, please?
yeah,
Can
sure.
you show us one more time this part?
Let's do it one more time. Let's do the same thing. Let's say scan. Let's say HTML. Select your web application. Go condensed. Select your add to cart. Select your add to cart. Select your add to cart. Okay. And now, if you look at these properties, these are having tag as input, value as add to cart. These are the two checkboxes that I have selected. Correct? I did not select any other checkbox here. And now, if I do identify by index, what it says means, there are 5 controls which are having properties tag as input and value as add to cart. Among these 5 controls, this one is the very first control. That is what it says. Similarly, if I go for the third one, there are 5 controls which are having tag as input and value as add to cart. But among those 5, this is the third one. Let's take another set of controls here. Okay. Let's take a link, or else let's take this. Okay. And let's say review items. So if you see it has tag value as A. Inner text as books. How many controls are having inner text as books in our web page? Only these 2 controls
2.
are the books,
Yeah, 2
right?
control.
So when I select this, what should be the index position?
I think 2.
2
Two.
out of 2, correct?
Yes.
Let's see that. So let's go identify by index. See, 2 out of 2.
So then, Ramya, directly can't we use index instead of anchor? Because yesterday we
So
have seen.
what happens
Yeah.
if you always use index means, for example, let's say they have introduced another set of categories here, or let's say they have named some books here. So what will happen to my index position? It will
Third,
change.
3. Yeah.
It will become 3. If they use, say like they have five books here, what will happen to my index? It will become 7. That means this index position has a very high probability to change. That is the reason we are using this as a third preferred method. Like I don't have any other option. Okay, this is the only option I am left with. So then I'll go for this. That is the reason this is third preferred way of identification. The first and the best preferred way is your properties. The second preferred way is anchor. Even in the anchor, it is fixed. Like you are hooking it. I will hook it here and then I will just say from here to here. But this one, I am giving you the index position, which is going to be tricky.